The guns are quiet now. The papers of peace have been signed. And the oceans of the earth are filled with ships coming home. In faraway places, men dreamed of this moment. But for some men, the moment is very different from the dream. Here is human salvage, the final result of all that metal and fire can do to violate mortal flesh. Some wear the badges of their pain, the crutches, the bandages, the splints. Others show no outward signs, yet they too are wounded. This hospital is one of the many for the care and treatment of the psychoneurotic soldier. These are the casualties of the spirit, the troubled in mind, men who are damaged emotionally. Born and bred in peace, educated to hate war, they were overnight plunged into sudden and terrible situations. Every man has his breaking point, and these, in the fulfillment of their duties as soldiers, were forced beyond the limit of human endurance.
At ease, man. On behalf of the commanding officer and his staff of Mason General Hospital, I want to extend a hearty welcome to all of you on your return to the United States. There's no need to be alarmed at the presence of these cameras, as they're making a photographic record of your progress at this hospital from the date of admission to the date of discharge.
Here are men who tremble, men who cannot sleep, men with pains that are nonetheless real because they are of mental origin, men who cannot remember, paralyzed men whose paralysis is dictated by the mind. However different the symptoms, these things they have in common: unceasing fear and apprehension, a sense of impending disaster, a feeling of hopelessness and utter isolation.
May I have your last name?
The psychiatrists listen to the stories of the men who tell them as best they can. The names and places are different. The circumstances are different. But through all the stories runs one thread: death and the fear of death.
And then after you got wounded, what happened? Same thing, only worse?
Like my nerves keep getting worse on.
They get worse.
These airplanes, they bombed. I got killed nearly the morning.
You nearly got killed. Where were you at the time?
St. Louis, I believe. Somewhere. I don't remember.
And what were you doing when the planes came over?
I was in a hole.
You know where you are?
I think I'm in the States now. They told me I was coming back.
Right.
But they told me I was going to die.
No.
In the hospital, I wouldn't eat hardly.
No, you're
I
not.
was sick. And I wouldn't eat hardly. They told me I was going to die, but then he couldn't help me.
Well,
Told me they didn't care where I died. I'm not.
we will see that you don't die. You won't die.
I lost my last buddy up there, Little Norman. He was second scout, and I was first scout. And They were all mixed up there. They were shelling us. And
Well, did that make you nervous?
I should have been first scout. I'm first scout, and I should have been out in front. And he went out, and I started to go out after him, and he got shot. And he just said, "Oh, Dutch, I'm hit," and he crawled to my feet, and I started calling for the medic, and I went back to see if we could get the medic, and there wasn't any, and I started to go out after him again, and they wouldn't let me go. And he was the last one of the original boys that was with me. Him and I were the last two left out of the original.
And when you were shelled, how did you feel?
I don't know. It's just after Norman got hurt or killed, why I was all right when we were moving up or attacked and anything like that. When we get pinned down, I started thinking about him laying back there.
And then what happened to you when you think about him? How would you feel?
I just didn't care what happened to me.
You mean you didn't want to go back into combat again?
Yes, sir. I wanted to go back. I wanted to stay there. I wanted to keep on for him and all them other guys, John and Stryker and Tex and Pop.
And how do you feel right now?
I feel all right.
How have you been getting along?
Well, fairly well, sir.
Mm-hmm. You overseas?
Yes, sir.
Where?
We were in France, and then we went to Germany.
In where?
France to Germany.
And what outfit were you with?
I was with Headquarters Detachment, 50th Quartermaster Battalion, Mobile.
Mm-hmm. I see your PFC.
At present, sir.
Mm-hmm. You had to go in the hospital.
Sir?
You had to go in the hospital.
Twice, sir.
It says here on your record from overseas that you had headaches and that you had crying spells.
Yes, sir. I believe in your profession is called nostalgia.
In other words, homesickness.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
It was induced when, shortly before the war, I received a picture of my sweetheart.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I can't continue.
That's all right.
Yes, sir.
Come on and sit down a minute. Now, a display of emotion is all right.
I'm not doing this deliberately, so please believe me.
I do believe you. A display of emotion is sometimes very helpful.
I hope so, sir.
Sure, it gets it off your chest. You wouldn't be here. You wouldn't have been returned. There's a patient. If there wasn't something upsetting you.
Yes, sir.
Well, now,
Sorry.
you say you had received a letter from your...
Not a letter, sir, a photograph.
A photograph, yes. Well, what about that now?
Well, sir, to be perfectly honest with you, I'm very much in love with my sweetheart. She has been the one person that gave me a sense of importance, and that through her cooperation with me, we were able to surmount so many obstacles.
What happened? Well, when I was in combat,
Can you speak louder? I have
Yes,
trouble
sir.
hearing you.
During the time, I got worried that my brother, he was killed in Guadalcanal.
Oh, was he a Marine?
Yes.
Now, I noticed in this history here that you saw a vision of your brother. Tell me something about that. What happened?
Oh, I guess it was a dream.
Well, describe the dream. What did you see in the dream?
I dreamt that I was home, my brother was home, and my other brother was home. We all were home.
All of you were home.
Sitting around the table. Everybody was happy. And we were laughing, talking, just admiring each other's. And then it ended there.
You could see these images clearly.
Yeah, it was like in a dream, see?
Yeah. What about this Mindanao thing you're telling me about?
Well, in Mindanao, after I got that news, I was scared.
You were scared?
I don't know, sometimes I hope something what happened then again, I'd say, well, something did
What
happen.
do you mean by something happened? You mean you were hoping that you'd be wounded and sent back? Is that what you mean?
No.
What do you mean by that?
I meant that I hoped that just, you know, I was so disgusted and tired of everything. I just didn't feel like living. And then I changed my mind and I think back to my folks, and it'd be a double blow if something happened to me. And I'd be standing guard, sitting on a machine gun there, just watching. And I'd hear a little noise and I'd let go, shoot. It wasn't nothing, probably was an animal or something.
Any noise made you upset and you just shoot?
At that time, yes.
Well, do you feel worried about anything now?
I don't know.
Are you mixed up?
Kind of.
What's that pin on your shirt there?
My heart.
Well, why do you cover those up? Aren't you proud of them?
Yes, sir.
You got a Purple Heart? Your campaign ribbons?
Yes, sir.
Well, why do you cover them up? Now, there must be some reason for you doing that. Well, what happened over there?
Well, we got in the scrape and I was in the house there and just got off of guard duty, and it was Friday the 13th and we sweating it out all day, and patrol came up, and German patrol, and they shot a Panzerfaust through the wall.
And what?
I was laying on a couch and right before it happened, I felt a little jittery, so I laid down on the floor. And when I got up again, the couch was all torn.
In other words, you were almost killed, is that it?
Most got right over my head.
Do you feel conscious, are you aware of the fact that you are not the same boy that you were when you went over? Do you feel changed?
Yes.
In what way?
More choppy.
How about with people?
I used to always like have fun. I used to always be going places. I don't like to do nothing no more.
How long were you overseas?
About 11 months.
11 months. Were you in any combat at all?
This is 6 months.
I tried every way to keep my mind occupied, reading, going to the gymnasium, going out with the fellows and try to become an extrovert, try to get out of myself. But it seemed to me that I got worse and worse. And after a while, I developed, after the fear of insanity, I started developing fears of different sorts.
Did you ever have similar pains before you got
Never
married?
in my life.
Have you ever been nervous before in your life?
No, sir. Never. I was a solid man.
Do sudden noises bother you particularly?
I did just shake a little, but not that bad.
Well, I guess I just got tired of living, you can put it that way.
I had trouble sleeping, yes. Had dreaming of combat, you know.
I just took off because I seen too many of my buddies gone, and I figured the next one was for me. A man can just stand so much up there, see.